Please welcome to the stage a man who can chug a gallon of maple syrup in under a minute, Dave Mercer.
You people are all insane. What are you doing? You guys are here and we love you for it. I mean, it's a torrential downpour here, but you guys are Bassmaster fans and you showed up, and we want to thank you for it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Wow, this is going to be a fun weigh-in, as they all are, but this is going to be a little extra fun. A very, very tight-looking tournament from the things that we saw on the water. Who watched Bassmaster live today? A lot of exciting stuff on the water today in a very close tournament, and I'll tell you, Lake Lanier showed out in a big, big way for you guys. Who's from the local area here? Who would love to see the Bassmasters come back here again? Make some noise for your local community for bringing the Bassmasters here. Give them a big round of applause. Well, normally on Championship Sunday we have a drive-through weigh-in, but due to the conditions, we're not going to be able to have a drive-through weigh-in, but we're going to bring them up as we always do. Good to tell you that the anglers are back here. The whole goal is to fill this bad boy. The longer you stay in our hot seat, the more money you make here on the Bassmaster Elite Series. And at the very end, our tournament leader, Chris Zaldane, will come up here and we'll see how it all works out. So you want to stay there as long as possible. But before we go any further, I'm going to bring out our tournament director. Give me a little love for Mr. Trip Weldon. Trip, not ideal weigh-in conditions, but boy, does that show how amazing these folks here are in Georgia.
Well, first of all, thanks to all. This is a phenomenal crowd in this weather. And I want to talk to the folks at B.A.S.S back in Birmingham, where it's like 68 degrees. No lie, that's the truth. I live north of Montgomery. It's 75 degrees. Hard to believe, and it's 43 right here for all you folks. So, hey, kudos to these anglers. And I was talking backstage. I said, these camera guys, we have 10 JM camera crew guys, and, man, what they go through day in and day out. You think about it, you're sitting there holding a camera like this, and water's wicking down your arm, and it's 43 degrees, and the wind's blowing. So kudos to them. They do a fantastic job. But we talked about it this morning. I never met a spotted bass that didn't like adverse weather, but they got it today. So we watched Bass Track all day. The standings have kind of flip-flopped back and forth. And so we'll see how this is going to shake out. It's probably be real, real close. My luck, it'll be a tie. We'll be fishing tomorrow because we'll never get it in today. But no, that'd be great to see. It'd be great for live. But I want to thank, Gwinnett County, the folks up at Laurel Park, all of our hosts. They've been great. And our Bass Nation folks, they've been fantastic. And it's been a fun week. We had a great kickoff last week for our Elite Series and just carried that momentum and competition right into here. And so excited to see how this ends up.
It's going to be a tight tournament. If we had a tie, Trip, we have got rules where basically it is a sudden death fish. Obviously, in this situation, we'd probably have a hard time getting them in the water for safe flight. So most likely it would happen tomorrow, but it's first fish, correct?
It's first fish, but a lot of you guys fish Lake Lanier, a lot of underwater pier lights. I see some heads nodding. I know at Lake Martin there are. We could have a night derby. No, we would not do that. But no, we would kick off. You'd just go to Bassmaster.com and watch for the details. We'd probably start, around 8 Eastern, and it would be live. And I think it would be off the charts for Bassmaster Live. But we'll see. Last week, let me talk about last week. Rick Clun had that phenomenal last day. He caught a 9.14 and a 9.11. If he loses one of those fish, he's not the champion. Chris Johnston beats Mark Menendez by 1 ounce. 1 ounce. It's crazy, man. And it could come down to that today.
Well, we're going to find out here in just a few minutes. We have 10 anglers left here at the Toyota Bassmaster Elite on Lake Lanier. And this is our second stop of the season. Before we weigh any fish, I need you guys to make a lot of noise for a very special person coming out here. He is your day 3 leader. Get loud from San Jose, California, Chris Zaldane. Chris, I'm amazed, number one, that this many people showed up in probably the worst conditions possible to watch a weigh-in. You're going to have to sweat it out here for a little while, but no matter what way this works out, Chris, an incredible week.
Oh, man, incredible week. Thank you guys for showing up. It is cold outside. It's wet. I had a nice 45-minute drive down here. I got real warm in the truck there. And thank you all for tuning in to Bassmaster Live, man. I had so much positive feedback, positive reviews. How many of you guys watch Bassmaster Live? Yeah, a bunch of you. All right, good. Then you guys kind of learned. I kind of gave seminars on how we did things, and I love teaching people. So yeah, we just had a great week on live, and today, let's talk about the fishing. And man, I caught 3 of those good ones, and I was fishing inside of that Buford Dam, and I honestly think some of the biggest spotted bass you guys have on Lake Lanier live around the dam. And basically, what they do this time of year is they move from point to point to point to point, and they all relate to the main channel down there. And those big spotted bass love those deep trees. They suspend in the trees and then move up to those points I was fishing down there in 45 feet of water and sometimes 60 feet of water. So the average fish I was catching was really, really good. So up until this point, we had a flawless day. Today, they were biting it kind of funny. The weather got kind of weird. Weather changed, and they would come up and they'd bite my bait and just barely get it. If any of you guys crappie fish, it's just a real light bite, and that's kind of how it was today. So I don't know what the guys have back there. I didn't watch Bass Track. I didn't check Bass Track. I have no clue. But either way, it was a fun week, and I appreciate everyone for the support, for coming out and watching Bassmaster Live.
You seem remarkably calm.
No, I am, man. Yeah, absolutely. I've been in this spot before, and man, I just had a blast for 4 days fishing giant spotted bass. Thank you guys for sharing that with me, and I really cannot wait to come back to this place because, man, those things pull and drag down there in 45, 50 feet of water. You cannot beat that anywhere else in the country.
Well, you're our day 3 leader, so we're going to let you go get comfortable backstage and see how this whole thing works out.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Let's hear it for Chris Zaldane. He'll go back, hang out with his fish in his boat here, and he'll be the final angler that crosses the stage. But we started with 75, cut it down to 35, and only 10 remain. Are you ready to meet him? All right, let's get him rolling through. Our first angler is the reigning Forest Wood Cup champion, the 2013 FLW Tour Rookie of the Year. Get loud from Alabama for Clint Davis. Started the day with 45 pounds and 9 ounces. Needs 6'1" to take the lead. 5 fish here on Championship Sunday, the second one of the season. 12 pounds, 15 ounces. A brand new leader with 58 pounds and 8 ounces. Get loud for Alabama's Clint Davis. Clint, anytime you get here on Sunday, that's the goal at the beginning of the week. And with today's conditions, we kind of, left this morning feeling like if somebody's going to make a charge from behind, this is the kind of day because it's totally different than any of the conditions you fished in the first 3 days.
Yeah, man, I caught a ton of fish today as well. Just I guess if I was going to pick a day to catch a bunch of small ones, today was a good one. So, but yeah, I caught them from 5 foot all the way out to 50 foot today. They were just all 2-pounders, 2 1/4 pounders. So, but it's been a blast. Lanier is without a doubt my favorite lake we'll go to all year probably. I just love coming over here catching these spotted bass. I got to brag, too. Yo-Zuri top knot fluorocarbon, man. I tied the leader on my spinning rod Wednesday after practice, and I still got the same leader on there. All those toothy spotted bass, 8-pound test. I mean, I can't believe I never changed it.
You never retied your leader all week?
Never did. Pretty good fishing line.
That's some confidence right there. Well, you don't get to go anywhere. You're going to join us in our hot seat. I don't know whether that's good news or bad news. You probably want to get back in your truck and turn the heating on.
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
We'll have a seat, and we'll see how long you can stay here. Let's hear it for Clint Davis. Our next angler, a cool breeze from the north. He is currently leading the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, the only Canadian to ever win a tour-level event from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, Chris Johnston. Started today with 45 pounds and 11 ounces. 5 fish looking for 12-14 to take the lead away from Clint Davis. Looking for 12 pounds and 14 ounces. He's got 5 fish all alive, going to be released back in the water for you guys to catch for years and years to come. 11 pounds, 12 ounces, not going to take the lead. 57 pounds and 7 ounces. Let's celebrate our current leader in Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points. With that, Clint Davis gets to sit a little bit longer, and the longer you stay, the more you make. But Chris, I don't know if you know what's going on back in Canada, but you're making history this week, becoming the first Canadian to ever lead Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, number one. We're also probably making history because the first time in history, there's a trade show back in Toronto where they've got thousands of people sitting watching this weigh-in live right now, and it may be the first time in history where a weigh-in is more comfortable in Canada than in Georgia. Yeah. But you got to be happy with your start to the Elite Series career.
It's a great start. I couldn't ask for a better start. Just to have a chance, I'm leading the Angler of the Year, have a chance at it going out, or I can't even talk right now. I'm too cold. My brain's frozen. Sorry. I didn't want to take the lead anyways from Clint because I got to go sit in the warm truck and warm up. But it's great. I want to say hi to everyone back home, especially the guys watching on the big screen at the spring fishing show. And this is a great crowd. I give you guys credit for coming out here and sticking it in the rain. And I had fun out there this week. I knew I wasn't on a winning pattern. In practice, I had a tough practice, so I just went in the tournament. I kind of salvaged what I could and got 15, 16 in the first 2 days, and I just kept with it. Today, I decided I had about 12 pounds. I thought I'm going to go and try and get a couple big ones in the lake, and I wasted 4 hours and might have got some hypothermia out there, but that's okay. That's fishing. And I want to say thanks to some of my sponsors. I haven't got a chance to thank them lately, and there's a couple local ones back home that you're probably familiar with that helped me out. They're not big names, but OK Tire in Peterborough, Bridge North Sports, I get all my tackle from there, and DT Power Sports. They're kind of small guys, but I really appreciate them helping me out and lets me come and live my dream. And then my other ones like Under Armour, Shimano, Garmin, the Live Scope, I use that quite a bit when I could find some deep fish, and I could see them out in front of me. And it helps now because these fish are so smart on Lake Lanier. When you get on top of them in 40 feet, you'll see them up 10 feet. As soon as your boat gets on top of them, you see them swim away. So they're smart, they're educated, and a couple of these guys behind me figured out how to catch them. And just wanted to say thanks to this crowd and Lake Lanier. Hopefully we come back sometime.
Congratulations on a great start. Awesome to have you here. You're still here. Is that good news or bad news?
I'm getting pretty cold. Probably next guy might take me out.
Well, we're going to find out. Let's get him through here. A former Elite Series Rookie of the Year, a two-time Classic qualifier. Get loud for Brandon Card. Started the day with 46 pounds and an ounce, fishing his 14th top 10. 14 pounds, 3 ounces. He takes the lead, and Clint Davis gets to go warm up in his truck. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Clint Davis and your brand new leader, Brandon Card. 60 pounds and 4 ounces, anchored by Spotopotamus yesterday. And you are leading this event, Brandon. That fish right there yesterday, I mean, when you caught it, you knew it. The entire tournament staff and everybody covering the event knew. That's the kind of bite that changes a tournament for someone.
Oh, yeah, that was a game changer for sure. I mean, you know, it was such a blessing catching that 5.5 pounder. I searched for them all day today. My 2 biggest bites got off. I don't know if you saw it on Bass Live or not, but one was, it had already finished fighting, and I was pulling it in. The hook just came out. That was a 4 pounder, and then I jumped off another one that was 4. But I actually caught that biggest fish right there, right by the ramp with a few minutes left. So at least I got one of those big bites back. But it's just been a really fun week here in Georgia. I love it here. The crowd's awesome. You know, thanks to all you guys coming out and the rain, super cool. And yeah, it's just been a fun week, man.
Tell me what kind of equipment, gear, break it down. Tell me what you were using this week.
Yeah, you know, I was doing a lot of fishing in the drains in the morning. I was throwing an Abu Garcia 7'6" medium action spinner rod. and I was just bomb casting swim baits as far as I possibly could on light line and just fishing down there 30 to 40 foot deep. So that was kind of my morning deal. And then I would go to either the first 2 days it was going to docks and skipping a little worm around, but the last 2 days I switched to a crankbait, and that's what produced the bigger bites. And that 5.5 pounder yesterday was on that little crankbait.
Cranking Bite's been pretty awesome the last few days, but you don't have to go anywhere. You're going to load our hot seat, which is probably not a great name for it today, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's dry, though. I mean, this is going to be the first time all day I've been dry.
All right, well, enjoy it. Let's hear it for your leader, Brandon Card. The 2011 PAA Angler of the Year, all the way from Lake Wiley, South Carolina, Todd Otten. 46 pounds and 4 ounces to start the day. He's looking for 14-1 to take the lead. 5 fish, 17 pounds, 2 ounces. 17-2, and Todd Otten, what a championship Sunday performance. Digging deep in that Berkeley weighing bag. Georgia, let me hear you for Todd Otten. With that, we say goodbye to Brandon Card. Let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen. And we say hello to our brand new leader, Todd Otten. And Todd, I believe your biggest bag of the week here on day number 4. I mean, championship performance here. How were you able to catch them better when so many guys seemingly stumbled today?
I don't know. I found a couple points that they seemed to be using all week, and they just kind of kept reloading on those points. So I just kind of like did a milk run all day, and I'd keep hitting them and coming back. And every once in a while you get them to fire up and catch 2 or 3. And then you might as well just leave it alone for about an hour and come back, try it again. But that's the way it was for me all week. And I just kept with the live target crankbait all week.
Which one were you throwing?
It was the little 50, the yearling, and it, runs about 5 or 6 foot deep, and that seemed to do well for me all week.
I guess so, because you're going to load our hot seat here in a second, and that's got to be a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this would be a first time in a long while. I know I fished elites a while back, but I don't remember sitting in that seat for very long anyway. Hopefully I can get to sit there for a while. But I would like to thank all my sponsors this week, and Garmin. Their live scope has really helped me a lot on my shallow fishing and deep fishing. And Ranger boats, Mercury outboards, Zoom, Live Target, all these people, we couldn't do it without them.
Awesome to have you here, and congratulations on a great event. Our next angler is an 11-time FLW Cup qualifier, an FLW Tour champion, and a 2-time Ultimate Match Fishing winner. Let's hear it for Stetson Black. Started the day with 46 pounds and 10 ounces. He's looking for 16-13 to take the lead. 13 pounds, 3 ounces, but he's here when 65 other pros are already at home. Let's hear it for a top 10 finish for Stetson Black. $59 pounds and 13 ounces, and Stetson not going to knock Todd out of the seat here, but anytime you're here on Sunday, it's a good deal.
Absolutely. This is my first top 10 in a Bass Elite, and I'm telling you, it's everything I dreamed it would be, and I cannot wait to get back here again. I'm impressed with this crowd. Good night. It's been a rough day out there, but this lake's awesome. It's really close. I mean, they caught the smoke out of them, but it's really close to being unbelievable out there. But I just want to say a special thanks to my family and all my sponsors and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for keeping me out here and letting me do this. But I tell you what, this week it was all about Garmin live scope. I caught them deep and I caught them shallow. It's amazing. On those shallow points, I could catch them on a little swim bait or a jerk bait, and I could see those fish up there in 4 to 6 feet of water on top of those points. I'm telling you, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you better check it out, because there's fish that you will not catch without it. I guarantee it.
were there key baits, or did you fish a bunch of different baits?
I fished a bunch of different baits. Jerk bait was the deal the last couple days. The first day I caught them really good on a wacky rig yum dinger on boat docks. Yeah, they're already on the boat docks out there. It's hard to believe, but in practice, I really thought I was going to catch a big bag doing that, and it just kind of changed. But the weather, predicted what we had to do to catch them, and I just never did get on that deep bite out there. But man, there's a lot of fish up shallow still.
It's awesome having you here on Sunday, and congratulations on a great top 10. Let's hear it for them. See, you stayed for one at least.
Yeah, I mean, my wife's probably sitting out there saying, ka-ching, ka-ching, hopefully.
We'll keep cozy, and we'll keep them rolling, making his second Bassmaster top 10 from Alabama. Get loud for Bill Weidler. Started the day with 47 pounds and 2 ounces. He's looking for 16.5 to take the lead. 5 fish, 15 pounds and an ounce. He moves into second place with 62 pounds and 3 ounces. As the rain gets harder, let's hear it for Bill Weidler. I mean, I got to tell you, first of all, Bill, congratulations, but you guys are incredible. You guys, I mean, you are by far not our biggest crowd we've ever had, but I may love you guys more than any crowd we've ever had, because what heart do they have? I mean, I know it's tough fishing in it, but you're getting paid, and they're here cheering you on.
Yeah, right? I mean, come on, guys. Y'all out there doing this. Well, we were out there all day in it, and it was rough, but to sit out here, y'all are some dedicated fans. That's awesome. It's awesome. I had a really great week this week. I was really shooting for a top 30. I didn't expect to get a top 10, but what I wanted to do was just focus deep, because I knew the cold was going to really affect things. So I fished between 45 and 60 foot all week out on the shoals on the bottom half of the lake, and I vertical jigged all week long using it was a dirty jig guppy head and a little TRD, and I just dropped down, try to get them 7.6 NRX medium rod with a Stella spinning reel, and I just went after them, man. It did good. My big fish didn't materialize today. I needed to get rid of 2 of those smaller ones. I could have been there, but it is what it is. I'm glad I made a top 10. I needed the points. And listen, I got to give props, number one, to Triton and Mercury. The boat is awesome, and the new Mercury motor. If you guys don't have one or hadn't ridden with a boat paired with it, you got to check it out. Battleborn Batteries is my title sponsor. Baitmate and the other sponsors. I couldn't be here today if they weren't here. And then I got to give a big prop to my home marina that helps me out, Duckett Marine. They get it done, and they support me when I'm back home. So
awesome to have you here. Congrats on a great top 10. Let's hear it for him. Let's keep him rolling. Our next angler is a 3-time TTVC champion, a 2-time Elite Series champion from Huntington, Texas, Keith Combs. Keith Combs had 49 pounds and 10 ounces as of this morning.
Comfortable, Todd.
Looking for 13-13, 16 pounds and 7 ounces. Let's hear it for Todd Otten, ladies and gentlemen. And let's hear it for our new leader, Keith Combs. 66 pounds and an ounce, and you are 4 anglers away from getting Elite Series win number 3, and I know you'd love to do that here today.
First of all, thank y'all for coming out. You crazy for coming out in this weather. I don't even want to be out here, and I had to go fishing, but thanks again for that. But no, I tell you what, it's not going to be enough, because you're going to see what Lake Lanier is all about here pretty quick. I guarantee you that. But I've had a great week this week. Enjoyed myself. Learned a lot about spotted bass. Learned a lot about Lanier, and I can't wait till we come back. But a little bit about how I fished. I probably caught them a little bit shallower than a lot of guys. I stayed up, just running main lake points. Just any kind of irregularity sticking out off the bank, and caught them the way I like to fish. Strike King crankbaits, several different crankbaits, but some of my big ones came on a 5XD, and then I would just pick up a little shaky head worm after that.
I didn't get a lot of bites, but when I got one, they were good ones. So it's been great. But big thanks. I had some good friends put me up this week. Barry Hensley and his wife. My wife came out to watch me try to win, but do appreciate that. And again, thank y'all for coming out. Awesome crowd.
Well, congrats on another great event. You're gonna load our hot seat here, but I got some more good news for you. Depending on how this works out, you're at $19,000 away from becoming a Bassmaster millionaire. So you finish in the top 3, I believe, or top 2, top 3. You'll be, if not at the Classic, you'll do it. But congratulations on an incredible career. Let's hear it for him. You saw this guy on live. He's a former Bass Nation national champion. He's weighed in the 5 biggest fish in Bassmaster Classic history from Connecticut, Paul Mueller. Oh boy, Mueller brought some mules to the party. He's looking for 1510. 18 pounds, 8 ounces. 18.8. And the former Bass Nation national champion moves into the lead. With that, we say goodbye to Keith Combs and we say hello to Paul Mueller. Oh, that's Spotopotamus right there. I saw you catch that on live today, and everybody cheering for you. And that fish came in the boat. I mean, it's not often, you know, when we're covering the event, let's watch the weight on this fish, 5 pounds, 4 ounces. It's not often when you're, you know, I do this for a living, right? I mean, I watch Bassmaster live all the time. I swear to you, when that fish came up the side of the boat, I yelled a word out loud, and I'm not going to say that word right now, but it was a giant.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but when he come up halfway back to the boat, he came up jumping, and there's songs and all kinds of stuff going through your head in the meantime before he gets to the boat. But that was a game-changing fish. You know, it was kind of a struggle up to that point, and I ended up getting another big one after that. But, you know, the Lord blessed me today. I know it's going to be a tight race with the 2 guys behind me. But, man, I feel like I had a good day, and I feel very blessed. Man, what a great fishery. You know, that was the biggest fish I caught all week. I know there's more in here. They're hard to catch this time of year, or right now anyway. But, man, it's one of my favorite lakes, and I hope we come back. I mean, we should come back here every year. So let's see how this shakes out. But what an awesome fishery. That's all I got to say.
I mean, and if this many people show up in torrential rainstorms, I mean, imagine how crazy Championship Sunday could be here on a nice day.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I mean, look at this. I would watch it on TV myself, but you know, it's just me. But I give you guys all the credit in the world for coming out and watching some bass get weighed in. That's pretty awesome.
Very awesome indeed. Before you load our hot seat, any key baits this week, or was it a bunch of different baits?
Yeah, you know, the first day I caught him freestyling a Rains Bubbling Shaker 3-inch on a 3/16 ounce do-it freestyle jig. And then I just switched, on the second day I switched to the swim bait. And I caught him on a 3 1/4 inch Rains Fat Rock 5 shad on a do-it herring head, half-ounce jig head. And that's what produced the bigger bites. That's what that big one came on, and all my big fish came on it this week. And you know, hopefully it's enough. But what an awesome bite! Reminds me of smallmouth fishing a lot. You know, the way they set up, but they're just a little harder to catch and a little bit meaner when you hook them.
They sure are, and it's been awesome to watch you this week. Don't go anywhere. Let's hear it for your leader, Paul Mueller. Next up, a former Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open champion from Mount Carmel, Tennessee. Every day is doomsday for David Mullins. 51 pounds and 4 ounces to start the day. He's got 5 fish, looking for 17, 13, 14, 10. Not going to take the lead, but with 65 pounds, 14 ounces. David Mullins makes his 6th Bassmaster top 10. $25 pounds, 14 ounces, and you know, I mean, you got to be happy. I mean, with as crazy as the weather was today, with as much as the change as it was, I mean, had to be a lot tougher out there.
Actually, you know, I caught them about 1 o'clock. They started firing for me, and I caught them pretty good. But unlike the first 2 days when I got a bite, it was a big one. But today it was just, you know, a 2.5 pounder, and that was what it was yesterday. And I kept sticking with it, thinking that I was going to run into a big one or two, and that's what I needed, and it just never happened.
It was awesome watching this week. You had some incredible, experience. You've been in this tournament since day number one. I mean, we see a lot of events where, the guys who are in contention day one fall off, but to remain consistent when so many guys stumbled, what helped you?
Well, I just pretty much put a jerkbait and a crankbait in my hands, and I'm a deep water guy, and this time of year, deep water is usually the most consistent thing that's going on, especially when water's in the 40s, and that's what, Paul and Chris tapped into. And I got on a shallow bite, and, it got good the first day, caught 17, and I started on it the second day and caught 19, and I just rode it out from there. And, the big bites left me after the second day, but overall, we're happy with the tournament.
Got to be happy indeed. A championship Sunday performance here. Congratulations.
Yeah, I got some people I want to thank Doomsday Tackle first and foremost. Frog Togs, Benchmade. I don't get a chance to do this very much, so I want to thank them all. Scottsboro Tackle, Nichols Lures, and Tackle Direct. Thank you all for the support. Coach Del Mar Sunglasses, Garmin Electronics. That was a big thing for me. I'll talk about that real quick. As our Garmin's, that live scope, guys, for the local people, you're going to need it because it is the deal. I've seen so many fish. In practice, I caught a lot of fish on my jerkbait. I watched every fish eat it on the graph 55 feet away from the boat, watched every one of them eat it on that live scope, and it's really good. They've got good mapping here, and it's for a lake like this, it's really good.
Congratulations on a great finish. Let's hear it for them. You are one angler away from an Elite Series title. I mean, people are so excited. I can see them just shaking or no, maybe they're shivering. I don't know. One or the other.
That's the cold.
What would this mean to you in your career at this point? I mean, Bass Nation Championship, you've won. You've weighed the 5 biggest fish in bass. I mean, you've shown the world that the Bass Nation dream, there's so many great guys who've come along. Of course, leading the charge, Brian Kerschel. But you have shown that, somebody can go from those seats right there to this seat right here through the Bass Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. It would mean everything. This is my 5th year on tour, and definitely every single person that fishes this tournament wants to win. Just as bad as I do. It would mean a lot to me, just because it's hard in this industry. It's hard to make it, and it's something that everybody strives for that. And I've been very fortunate to come up through the Federation. I'm going to call it the Federation because that's what it was when I fished it. It's the Bass Nation now. But I've been very fortunate that's been my platform to get here. I wouldn't have made the Elite Series had I not won the national championship. So, it's a combination of everything. I do a lot of guiding back home. I've just been very blessed. However it shakes out, the Lord has blessed me. I get to fish for a living. I mean, how bad is that?
So. That is a true champion both on and off the water right there. Let's bring through our final angler, a 2-time Bassmaster winner, a 3-time Classic qualifier from San Jose, California, the Zaldangerous one, Chris Zaldane. Paul, come on, let's get side by side, anglers. We're going to find out who our champion is here. Started the day with 51 pounds, 9 ounces, looking for 17.8. 16 pounds and 9 ounces. Mueller mauls him on Championship Sunday. Paul Mueller, you are a Bassmaster Elite Series champion. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty awesome, man. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw those fish, I was sweating. I said, man, he definitely has more than 15 pounds. I said, oh, boy, here we go. But you know what? Wow, what a day. All right, so I had 12, 13 pounds, ran out of options, lost some fish, had one good spot. Put this Bible verse on my hand. I can't even read it because it literally, let's see, basically is commit to the Lord and it shall come to pass. It was something that popped up on my Bible app, and I tell you what, God talks to you through his word. It's amazing because it was a message for me just to never give up. Let me tell you something. It's very tough. This was a grueling tournament, ups and downs. I had a bad day yesterday, but I overcame. I thank God for everything. That's all I got to say. I want to give a big shout out to all my sponsors too. The thing is, like, to get to this point, you got to have really good sponsors. And when I started the Elite Series, I switched to Garmin. That was the biggest thing that's changed my career guiding and then also in tournament fishing, because I make my living catching fish, or actually having other people catch fish. And with that Panoptics, it makes my life a lot easier. I fish for perch, I fish for crappie, everything that swims. I've spent a lot of time with Panoptics, and that's why I won in this tournament, because I'm very dialed in with my electronics. But without good electronics, without good mapping, they have an incredible map of this lake. It's just amazing. I mean, I literally could look at the map and I could see how the place is laid out. And these spotted bass, they set up like smallmouth. So I felt very comfortable. And then every single way I caught them this week is what I do back home. So I just feel very blessed. I think sometimes God prepares you for certain things. You know, I spent a lot of time with it, and then here we are, and we get in a big event against the best of the best, and I was able to do it. So I'm just very thankful.
It's been amazing to watch you this week, and I know you've waited a long time to hold one of those trophies. Let's bring on our tournament director, Trip Weldon. Your Toyota Bassmaster Elite of Lake Lanier belongs to Paul Mueller. Mueller mauls him on Championship Sunday, and he joins his support team that cheers him on every single morning when you head out on the water. To have them on the stage to hold that trophy, tell me what's going through your mind.
First of all, God first, family second, and then fishing, in that order. I'm not gonna say too much because I'm gonna tear up if I do, but honestly, my wife is my backbone. She encourages me more than she realizes it, and it's through God. And then, you know, I have to give a big thanks to my parents. I know they're watching this. Without my parents, I'm not here. They've been the support. I didn't go to college. I wanted to fish for a living. I did it the hard way. Came up through the nation, 2 years in a row, 2 classics. Then it took a while to get back to a classic. I want to get back to the classic, by the way. It's going to be hard, though. And let me tell you something. If anybody thinks that this group of guys is easier to fish against, I've fished against other guys the last 4 years. It ain't any easier this year. I can tell you right now. After St. John's, I was like, can I even catch a fish? But, you know, I think God humbles you sometimes before something like this happens. And, you know, I'm just very grateful, man. I got an awesome family. I got a God that loves me. I'm just happy to have this blue trophy.
You know, let's hear it for him. Couldn't have said it better myself, you know, and the guys that hold those trophies, you know, the stars of this sport have been built on this stage, and the stars of this sport are the guys who hold those trophies, and now you're one of those guys.
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't look at myself as a star. I'm just a normal dude that loves to fish, and I've been, like I said, very fortunate to make a living fishing, and that's through God. I mean, there's a lot of obstacles to get to this point. There's a lot of fishermen that are, I guarantee you, that are better than I am, that don't get the opportunity to fish at this level. And I've just been very blessed, man. It's been a hard road, but you know what? Faith carries you through it.
Amazing. To hear you say that makes you a star. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Toyota Bassmaster Elite on Lake Lanier belongs to Paul Mueller. We started with 75, cut it down to 35. 10 went out today, and 1 remains. Paul Mueller, Bassmaster Elite Series champion. On behalf of the entire staff, our tournament director, Trip Weldon, and myself, Dave Mercer, we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here today. Blown away by your support in this inclement weather, and I guarantee you, we'll be back.